and offered Tunbridge Wells, and they said, "You have it on a plate. You'll be the MP there for as long as you want."
And you said?
And I said no. They are
He did not
Completely
like that.
and utterly untrue.
Let them fight, I say. Who cares if the right wing are deciding to eat each other?
I'm as real as a real can get. What you see?
Buongiorno freaks and geeks, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be looking at a quick video produced by Channel 4 News on the Reform Party, and I guess they've decided to relaunch themselves with the local elections just around the corner. And something that was brought to my attention, which kind of just fell off my radar, to be honest, I didn't realize Keir Starmer actually did try to delay the local elections in May. He tried to defeat fascism by being more of a fascist, and apparently Nigel Farage went to court to prevent this.
You are a rat.
And now they are back on. I was always under the assumption that they were just going to happen because, you know, that's how democracy, in inverted commas, happens within a capitalist state. You have to give the illusion of democracy by having regular elections every 1 to 2 years, whether they are national or at a local level. So that was really interesting. That was brought to my attention. So in that vein, I guess Nigel Farage has decided to rebrand his whole Reform UK party. And again, just calling your party Reform when the core goal of this political party is to just go back to how things were before. Like, instead of Reform, you should be called Before UK.
That ain't it.
So I guess they decided to have a massive press conference relaunching their party, and I imagine they invited party members along with all major news outlets. And because it's Nigel Farage, how could news outlets refuse the request or invitation? So we're going to get straight into this very short video, but before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me down below, will this rebrand of sorts really work for Reform UK? And again, I'm thinking, if they are ahead in every single poll going, why do they need to rebrand?
Good point.
Just continue with what you're doing, right? But again, everything is inflated within politics. So let's get straight into this video.
Nigel Farage unveiling the new collegiate phase of his leadership. A game show set to launch a new era of teamwork.
This isn't a game show set. This is a method directly imported from America. This could have been anything from Donald Trump to Erica Kirk. This is the yankification of UK politics. Utter yank nonsense.
Complete and utter bullshit.
And the fact Channel 4 is trying to explain it away as some type of game show is very, very silly indeed. I just can't believe that we are in a society where things like this is normal, flashing lights and cameras just to essentially put glitter on what is basically dog mess. This will be a disaster, and I'm going to have a key eye on the actual substance of it all.
Good morning, everybody. The time has come to broaden the party. Shadow Chancellor is Robert Jenrick.
That don't sound right.
Did he just say Shadow Chancellor? Now, I'm not up to date on all parliamentary protocol, but the last time I checked, Nigel Farage's Reform UK party had 8 MPs. 5 were elected and 3 are Tory escapees in a sense. And the Tory party has around 116 MPs, which means, in my belief, only the Tory party can form a shadow cabinet. Can they? Yeah, I was right. Only the Tory or Conservative Party can form a shadow cabinet. So again, Nigel Farage showing us that he just doesn't care what words and protocol mean. He's just going to, I guess, try and ride roughshod over for everything, pretending to be the UK's Donald Trump. But as Donald Trump has already stated himself, that was bestowed onto Boris Johnson.
We have a really good man is going to be the Prime Minister of the UK now, Boris Johnson. Good man. He's tough and he's smart. They're saying Britain Trump. They call him Britain Trump, and people are saying that's a good thing.
So all of this naming shadow is just plain silly theatre.
Suella!
2 of the 4 top spokespeople unveiled were in the Tory party until very recently. Nigel Farage was asked if fast-track promotion of recent defectors angered some long-standing reform supporters.
It shouldn't, because you're all Tories anyway. I think Reform Party is just Tories going full mask off, whereas Conservatives are just Reform members with half their face covered. There's very little daylight between the two, as illustrated from the fact that 2 of the 4, well, Channel 4's named them spokespeople. Nigel Farage, for some reason, has called them his shadow cabinet, but 2 of the 4 were in the Conservative Party, and Suella Braverman was in the last actual government, like in the cabinet itself. So yeah, I don't think it should anger them too much.
Any internal upset, not that's yet been made known to me. And if there is, tough.
He is today what he has always been, and always will be, a fascist.
Right, thank you.
They laughed at that slapdown, but may get their own from a man who says he wants to share out leadership decisions, but never truly has.
You said this was a one-man band until very recently. Is there a reason for that? Have you ever run anything that wasn't a one-man band? And do people really change?
I think I've been rather successful, don't you? Tell me anybody else in modern day politics that set up political parties.
He is nothing but persistent. I mean, the guy could be a fantastic, if not already, sexual deviant. He just doesn't understand the meaning of the word no. How many times did he go and try to be a MP in the past? How many general elections did he have to fail until he became an absolute reject and decided to take his non-talents to the European Parliament? So him saying he's been very successful has been, I guess, more of a mistake of his, some might say political enemies, but people adjacent to him. Someone like David Cameron. If David Cameron didn't bother, I guess, pandering to the Nigel Farage perceived threat, we would never have had a Brexit referendum. So for him to say, I've been rather successful, he needs to just calm down. You're at a 10 when you need to be at a 2, darling.
I am a political entrepreneur. I do things that nobody else could do.
Nigel Farage poured bile on his newly promoted defectors' old party. But some 2 decades ago, he walked up this drive in Surrey to talk at the home of a Conservative county councillor to a then Tory MP about getting himself a safe Tory seat.
So that's autumn 2004.
Yeah.
He sits here.
He does. He sits there.
You're there.
Yep.
And you're there.
And I'm here, yeah.
And how does the conversation go?
So I said to him, look, what do you want? And there's a deep didn't take a breath, and he said, I want to be nominated for a solid Conservative seat in Kent.
That doesn't surprise me. Like I said, when you are of that mindset, a right-wing mindset, all you care about is winning. Even if it's like taking candy from a baby, at least you got the candy in the end. So this type of behavior from Nigel Farage is just, yeah, him. Like, come on, like, we shouldn't be surprised here.
Can you fix it?
I mean, I recall that there was a specific seat up for selection at Tunbridge Wells.
So Nigel Farage's memory of all of this is that a Tory Knight of the Shires, I think he means you.
I think he does too.
Approached him.
Yes.
On behalf of Michael Howard, the then Tory leader. Yes. Because you wanted Nigel Farage as an asset.
Yes.
Neutralising UKIP on the right of the Tory party.
Yes. And all of that is a figment of his imagination.
Yeah, I imagine so. I think Nigel's been at the pints of beers and cigars too much. And again, he is a lover of Margaret Thatcher, so he is probably a pathological liar. In fact, this former Conservative MP might be a pathological liar as well. They might be lying on each other. So it doesn't really matter who we really believe. At the end of the day, yeah, who cares?
He says you approached him.
That is a lie.
We put those claims to Nigel Farage.
Hang on, they offered me a safe
That's not
seat.
their memory.
Well, they offered me a safe seat, which I didn't take.
They suggested you came sniffing back then.
They are dishonest. If they're saying that, that sums them up. Dishonest to their back teeth. I was approached by a Knight of the Shires to meet confidentially and offered Tunbridge Wells. And they said, you have it on a plate, you'll be the MP there for as long as you want.
And you said?
And I said no. They are
He did not
Completely
like that.
and utterly untrue.
Let them fight, I say. Who cares if the right wing are deciding to eat each other? Who cares who's really lying? At the end of the day, they are both trying to get to the same goal, and it is to leech as much from the many in this country and scapegoat, whether it be migrants, foreigners, LGBT, women. So yeah, they're both Tories at the end of the day. Yeah, let them have their little squabble. It doesn't matter much in the long run.
Complete opposite of what happened. I had to be asked to come and meet him. I didn't ask him. I don't like him. I don't trust him.
Back at his lavish press event, even as he rolled out the red carpet for some Tory defectors, Nigel Farage said that's nearly it on Conservatives he'd want to poach.
I'll answer that honestly. There are very, very few, hardly any, other people left in the front lines of this Conservative Party that we would even be vaguely interested in.
He is lying.
He's definitely going to eat those words in the next 6 months if more escapees/defectors come to the Reform UK Party. I can see it right now.
Nigel Farage warned any disloyalty in his party would not be tolerated.
He is today what he has always been, and always will be, a Thatcherist.
One Tory who served in cabinet with Reform's new acquisitions said from now on, Nigel Farage would be wise to sleep with one eye open.
So yeah, that's the end of that video. Nigel Farage ruling with an iron fist does very much remind me of Keir Starmer. Anyone you don't like just has to go. And I guess that's why everyone started calling Keir Starmer Keir Starlin, because yeah, he has to purge anyone that even slightly disagrees with his policies, with anything he says, essentially. What do I think about this? We didn't hear much about what policies will be floated by this Reform Party. All we heard is that we got a number of people who are now spokespeople on different government departments. Okay, who cares? What does that really matter? I think the only policy I found was that Nigel Farage said that he would scrap, or he would go back and impose the 2-child benefit cap, which Keir Starmer says is, was it shameful or shameless or something? Which is really interesting for Keir Starmer to say that, since he really wanted he really wanted that 2-child benefit cap in place before it is eventually scrapped by this government. So I don't think Keir has any leg to stand on in that respect. But yeah, that's the only policy I've heard about Reform wanting to do once or if they end up in government, which I don't know, that's not very much of a broad approach, you know, sending more children into poverty. That's really, really weird and not really a populist thing to do, is it now, Nigel? In the places such in the Garden of England, so Kent, Essex, Middle England, wherever the hell that is, I feel that Nigel and Reform will clean up, and not only will they take seats in the local election from the Conservative Party, there will be a number of seats taken from Labour as well. And again, that will be in areas where the constituents will be more socially conservative, because they got nothing else to vote on, because Labour's not meeting their economic needs. Now, where Labour will lose seats to the Greens and left-wing parties will be in areas where people are more socially liberal. So yeah, Labour being squeezed from both sides, but they have to concentrate on the right wing, the right wing of the political spectrum, and just losing votes from the right of their party, which, to be honest, is not, there's not very much left right wing of this current Labour Party. So everything's up for grabs in May, and I very much look forward to seeing the destruction afterwards, and how, like, after the Brexit referendum, Nigel will come out and say, this is a mandate and we are flying high and I'm going to be the next Prime Minister and blah, 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 blah. But again, I think if the ostensibly left of the country, the political parties work together at the next general election, you can easily keep out the Reform Party under this first past the post system, because remember, it is not proportional representation, so you can easily keep them out if you just work together. Never thought I'd be saying that, actually. The Greens,
That sounds all right, doesn't it?
Liberal Democrats,
I'm not sure about that.
and Labour
God, that's horrible.
working together to keep out Reform. If only. Anyway, tell me down below, does this rebrand, does this announcement of different roles within the Reform Party create a broader image for them, and does that mean their message will go further and wider? And what do you think of Nigel Farage's authoritarian approach to, I guess, political leading? And do you think if he does become Prime Minister one day, and to be honest, anything is possible, considering we had Boris Johnson as, actually not even Boris Johnson, we had Liz Truss as a Prime Minister. So to be honest, the bar is so low already that, yeah, I can imagine Nigel Farage being Prime Minister. Do you think he will also run the country like that? I do, personally. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and yeah, I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.
Well, laughing, I started a joke, which started the whole world. I started to cry, which started the whole world. I finally died, which started the whole world living. Oh, if I'd only seen that the joke was on me.